Monday, November 7th, Monday, November the 11th. We will begin approximately 10:05 with Alabama A&M head coach Connell Maynor. He'll be followed by Alabama State head coach Eddie Robinson at 10:15. Coach Cedric Thomas will join us at 10:25. Coach Raymond Woody with Bethune-Cookman will be at 10:35. Coach James Colsey will be at 10:45. Coach Mickey Joseph with Grambling State will be at 10:55. Coach Alonzo Hampton will be at 11:05. Coach Kendrick Wade will be at 11:15. Coach Bubba McDowell will join us at 11:25. Coach Terrence Graves with Southern University will be at 11:35. Coach Chris Dishman with Texas Southern will be at 11:45. And Coach T.C. Taylor with Jackson State will conclude our list of coaches that will join us today. He'll be at 11:55. We're a few minutes ahead of schedule. We'll pause momentarily. Appreciate your patience.
Recording in progress.
Once again, for all of our immediate participants, if you do have any questions for our coaches, we ask you please utilize the raise your hand feature. Get your question in the queue. Please limit your questions to one initial question. If there are several other questions, answered. With that being said, so happy to be joined by Coach Maynor with Alabama A&M. Good morning, Coach.
Eddie Robinson. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you hear us? Can you hear us, Coach?
Eddie.
Coach, can you hear us?
Mic check.
Okay, I think we might be having some coaches hearing our audio here.
Say something.
Eddie Robinson.
Fine. Big right there.
It's on.
Hey, Brian, can you hear Coach?
I can.
Okay, I don't think he can hear us. Okay. All right, we're going to try to get Coach's audio where he can hear us resolved. We'll be back momentarily.
You sure?
I'm sure.
All right. I can't hear nobody.
Coach, can you hear us?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. All right, sounds good. All right, Coach, are you able to start your video?
Yep.
Turn that off.
Um, I got it. Video now.
You can't, your video.
It's okay. It's on. All right. You
Okay.
hear me, Andrew?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sounds good. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing great, Coach. Appreciate you taking some time to join us. Coach, if you could start us out with an opening statement, recapping your team's most recent outing versus Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Yes, sir. We went to Arkansas Pine Bluff, and we knew they had a good home record this year. They was 3-1 at home, and Coach Hampton is doing a tremendous job with those guys. Got them playing hard. But one can play too. And then defensively, you know, they just fly around, man. I got a good football team. He's doing a good job of getting that program turned around. They wanted to toss. They kicked off. We kicked off to them, and they went down and got a field goal. We got the ball and threw an interception the first play of the game, man, and gave them a short field. And our defense did a great job of holding them to a field goal attempt and hit the upright. So still 3-zip game. We get the ball, go down and score. We up 7-3. Then they go down, score, and make it 7-10. So we got a good football game going. We go down and score 14-10. We score again, make it 21-10. They get a pick six. It's 21-17. We got a ball game, man, and then we get two late scores in the first half to kind of separate a little bit there, 35-17. And second half, I told the guys the game ain't over. We got to keep playing, and we came out and basically scored a couple more touchdowns in the second half, and was able to make a few more plays than they were, and just lucky and blessed to be able to get out of it with a W. It's hard to get wins and even harder to get them on the road. So we was very satisfied with getting a W this week.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. We'll now up the floor for questions. Please utilize the raise your hand feature if you have a question for Coach. Currently taking questions for Coach Maynard with Alabama A&M. So, Coach, obviously, offensive production. Once you guys got going, just the running game there with Eaglin. Can you talk a little bit about his performance?
Oh yeah, we knew going into the game that we wanted to run the ball this week, and you know, I told Eaglin, man, hey, you got to carry 25, 30 times this week, and so you got to be ready for that. And he said he was ready, and he did. I think he had 24 carries, maybe 145 yards, 5 touchdowns. So second team, Isaiah No had 117 yards rushing. So I think we rushed for like 350 yards. It was a great day. Still had like another 150 passing. So we was right at the 500 yard mark of total offense, and really executed well on offense. Even though we had 3 turnovers, we had 2 interceptions and a fumble. So I was really pleased with the production, and the reason we were still able to separate because our defense was able to cause turnovers. Normally, when you turn the ball over, it's going to be tough to win a football game. but our defense was able to go back and get some turnovers itself. I think they had 3 turnovers, so they kind of evened out the turnovers, and we were still able to pull away. But yeah, offense played great, but the defense played good. Defense, again, we gave up a pick 6 and we gave up a late touchdown. So I thought the defense played well. I think we had maybe 3 sacks and 3 turnovers. They flew around and played well against a good offense, a good quarterback, and good wide receiver. So I was pleased with the performance this week.
Next question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Perry. How you doing?
Super fantastic. How are you?
Good. I just want to hear you say super fantastic. That's why.
Coach, you have consistently had one of the top offenses in this conference. What is your approach? How is it that you're able to maintain that consistency with a productive offense?
I'm gonna tell you my secret, Perry, and I can tell you because nobody believes it. We just play to our strengths, defense weaknesses. That's it. A lot of guys have systems, and if you don't have somebody that can run that system, then you can't do that. So you got to do what your guys can do. Don't ask your guys to do stuff they can't do. I don't run 4-8 guys deep, and I don't. I make those guys run the short routes, and I run the fast guys deep. I put the guys in space. Uh, Donovan Eagles a running back that's downhill runner. So you're giving the ball, let him run downhill. So it's very simple. Play to your strengths, defense weaknesses. Do what your guys can do well. A lot of guys got systems that they just gonna run their system no matter what. Well, if I don't have no receivers, I can't put 5 receivers on the football field. So it's very simple. Just play to your strengths and the defense weaknesses.
And Coach, you said last week that you would not be able to stop Giovanni Gibson, just contain him, but you kind of held him to 86 yards. What was the approach schematically at defending him?
Uh, Give him different looks. Play man on him with help over the top sometime, bracket him sometimes. Just play straight zone to that side sometimes. So you just had to make. You're right. We did. We did an excellent job against him this week. I commended our secondary guys for the job they did. I think he had 86 yards. He probably had 35, 40 of those yards on the last possession, the last drive of the game. So we really thought we did a real good job on him, and we knew we had to if we wanted to win this football game.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Doc Holliday.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing today?
Good, Doc. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, just waking up. Your team, we always talk about this as far as with penalties. Your team only had 1 penalty for 5 yards. You dominated the time of possession with 35 minutes for the game. And you also dominated as far as the total yards for over 500 yards. What did you tell your team after this type of performance from Saturday night?
Well, that was the game plan. That's what we talked about Friday night, that we wanted to run the football, and we was able to do that. Now we got to go back, and we can't live off that game. We got to play again this week. We play Thursday night against Grambling on national TV, so we got to be ready against a good Grambling football team. We got to look at them, break them down, see how we want to try to attack these guys, and explain that to those guys and do it. The guys rose up last week and to the challenge of being able to run the ball on these guys and try to keep that high power offense and that quarterback and receiver off the field, and that's what we was able to do. So we got to look at it this week and see what our game plan is and try to execute our game plan as well as we did last week.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Final questions for Coach.
Andrew.
Yes, sir.
I was trying to get on this thing, and I got confused, but I wanted to send my condolences and prayers to Mississippi Valley players and coaching staff where they had a tragic death Friday night with a player in a car accident. So we want to let them guys know that we're praying for them and stay strong.
Absolutely. Appreciate that, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Any final questions for Coach Maynor with Alabama A&M? Coach,
Eddie, don't be trying to copy me, man.
Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
All right. Good luck, everybody.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, next we'll go over to Alabama State and Coach Eddie Robinson. Once again, if you do have questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Robinson with Alabama State. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How's it going today?
Great, doing great. Appreciate it. Coach, as always, we appreciate you taking some time to join us. If you could start us out with an opening statement, recapping your team's most recent outing, excuse me, versus Grambling State.
Yeah, just starting off, following up with the words of Coach Maynor. Definitely want to have our condolences out to Coach Wade and sent him a text in the Mississippi Valley, coach's staff, family, friends, the whole university, and the players. We know that's a extremely difficult situation, and also right up the road from us, Tuskegee Institute. I'm sure everybody saw about the homecoming issues that they had. So we just want to make sure that all of our student athletes and HBCU students and people in general are safe on this Veterans Day. So getting into the game, went to Grambling State University, hadn't been there in quite some time. Took the kids to the museum, great experience, great week of preparation. Went down there with the intention of getting a win. Got off to somewhat of a slow start, a lot of 3-and-outs early. Game was 3-3. Field goal kicker did a good job of making the kick, Brandon. Getting to the halftime, went back and forth, was able to score late with a field goal, and it was 20-10 at the half. I thought our guys did a good job of executing the 2-minute. They were kind of stymied offensively early on, but they made a good halftime adjustment of doing a little bit more things in the run game and taking the pressure off their young quarterback. And they were able to run the football a little bit better in the second half and put some points. They scored at the beginning of the fourth quarter and came back and scored again later on. We had a late turnover, which was a big benefit for them. And we found ourselves down by 1 point. Young quarterback Kareem Key did a great job of executing the 2-minute. Almost did it too fast. Got down there with 50 seconds left. Got us down to the 10-yard line, and we missed the last second kick. We lost by 1 point, but love the way by 1 point. Love the way the kids played and competed. And had a lot of energy and enthusiasm after the game. A lot of anger in the room. So just trying to get those guys to realize what should have happened. You know, everybody could have done something to help us win that game a little bit better. So you have to look inside. And now we're going to get that anger and that energy and that enthusiasm and have a great practice on Tuesday. And get ready for a Jackson State team that's high powered. You know, they're moving they're in stride and step. You know, both teams have a lot to play for, so it's going to be a big game on campus, and we're looking forward to the challenge of getting ready for it starting on Tuesday.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How's it going?
Super fantastic. Great game. Thank you for that. Coach, there was a very warm embrace at the end of the game between the two head coaches. Can you share with us the comments that you all exchanged at midfield?
Yeah, we have a lot of respect for each other. You know, I'm rooting for Mickey unless they're playing us, and so. But this week they're playing A&M, so I'm probably going to stay neutral. So, but now on a serious note, yeah, I mean, have a lot of respect for Mickey and what he's doing with those guys, and but Grambling State and being from a guy within the state. You know, I know about Grambling. I grew up going to the Bayou Classic. He did too. And so just wished him the best of luck. And it was one of those things where two good football teams played and somebody had to lose. And in the last couple of weekends, it's been like that. Our last couple of games have been coming down to the end, and we were fortunate to win. And this one, we couldn't get it done at the end. But still have a lot of respect for those guys. Wishing them the best of luck. Coach Dooley was there also, know him well. And so, and that's a great staff, and they're doing a great job moving the program in the right direction. And just this one game, we're on the wrong side of the last play.
And the emotional state of your kicker after missing that game-winning attempt.
Yeah, I mean, he was in bad shape at the end of the game, as you can imagine. We had a lot of anger in the room. A lot of guys were upset. You know, our expectation was go down there and to win the game. And when you put that much into it, and I just had to let those guys know, be in control of yourself at all times. That's my rule number one in life. And you got to have that type of mentality. And so we pulled them all together, let them know that there's going to be other things that's going to happen in life that's going to be worse than losing this game. And you have to be able to adjust to it and make those right decisions in those key times. And so it was a life lesson for a lot of people in the room. And, you know, I've been on some tough losses, but this one was really, really hard. And But with my kicker, he bounced back yesterday. It's going to take 24 hours for him to get there. And last night, talking to him, he said, "Coach, I'm ready. I got to make the next kick." And so I loved his approach. But that night, yeah, he was messed up like all of us. But it's football, it's life. Sometimes it doesn't go your way, and that's why you appreciate the win so much. Because when you have those tough losses, you understand how much you put into it when it doesn't work out.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck next week.
Appreciate it.
Next question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach Robinson, how you doing today?
Doing well. How's it going?
I'm doing good. You had a 10-point lead going into the second half, and kind of, so you kind of got outplayed. What did you tell your team after the game about keeping leads and just going out there and doing what they're supposed to do?
Yeah, we've been great at preserving leads. If you look at the last couple games, it went like that. We were up and then we had to hold on at the end, and we've been able to make those plays at the end. So just have confidence in your routine. We practice situational football every day throughout the week. So it wasn't one situation. As a matter of fact, last week, we just retouched 4-minute football, which is, defense on the field has to get the ball back. We got the ball back. So we did that. And we practiced 2-minute. Offense drive down. We did everything but made the kick. And so when that happens, you don't change your routine. You don't change what you're doing. You just double down on your routine and know that what we're doing is correct. It just didn't end correctly that day. And that's how football goes. That's how life goes. But our routine is good. Our method is good. Our approach is good. We just didn't get the result that we wanted. So it's no need to have any wholesale changes. We won't start practicing at midnight or anything. We just have to double down on our routine and lock into what we're doing. Just be a little bit more mentally focused. Like every kid and every coach could have done one more thing to help us win that football game. And so we can't look at the last play. When you make the last mistake of the game, it's always tough. But everybody else made a mistake during that game that could have helped us not be in that situation.
Thank you, Coach.
Absolutely.
Next question goes to Keisha Kelly.
Hey, Coach. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Good. So you talk about situational football. Y'all head back home, or you're back home to play in Montgomery. Is there anything that you've seen with this Jackson State team that you are worried about?
Yeah. They have some scary players. And when I say scary players, is those guys who can touch the football and they can go 80 yards at any time. So we know we'll have to be perfect on defense. And that's what we're telling our guys this week. If you get in the wrong gap, you don't hold contain, you don't cover your guy, it'll be a house call. And so I think when you're playing those type of guys, it always makes you nervous because they can't go the distance on any play. They're a big play offense, but at the same time, they can run the football and be methodical. And they have some talented guys on defense that have come out there and play hard. They're well coached. They're right at the top of the Eastern Division for a reason. So we know it's going to be a tough, physical, hard game that we have to come well prepared for. We got to play mentally smart and physically smart. I think if we just play physical and not win the mental aspect of the game, then we'll be in trouble. And so we'll get the guys up ready to play. It'll be a great atmosphere in Montgomery, so we're looking forward to it. I know they're looking forward to it. So it'll be a great SWAC football game, and we're up for the challenge.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Final questions for Coach Robinson with Alabama State. All right, last question goes to Perry Daniels.
Hey, Coach, on that last kick, was there any consideration on the down prior to that to center the ball in the middle of the field?
Yeah, it was, and that's why we had that rollout going to the right. And it was one of those situations where Kareem, young quarterback, he learns from every mistake. And earlier in the game, he held the ball too long, right, rolling out to the right. And his mindset was, hey, I'm gonna get it out of my hand quick, which he did, and give ourselves a chance to make the kick. So in hindsight, the coulda, shoulda, woulda, yeah, you could have centered it. But my kicker made a kick from that same left hash earlier in the game. And so it's one of those kicks that we have to make. He understands that, but he made 3 earlier. So he's won a lot of football games for us. He's put us in position to win. And so all he can do is go out there and make the next kick.
Yes, sir. Thank you much, Coach. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, next we go to Alcorn State and Coach Cedric Thomas. Once again, if you do have questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. If you do see that there are several questions already in the queue, please limit your questions to one initial question, potentially a follow-up. If we've got additional time, we'll work our way back around to get additional questions answered. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Thomas with Alcorn State. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, as always, we appreciate you taking some time to join us. If you could start us out with an opening statement, recapping your team's most recent outing versus Texas Southern.
Yes, sir. Saturday at Texas Southern really improved. Good football team coming in, and we had two really good, two tough losses, and just wanted to get off the mat and kind of started off a little slow. Our All-American tight end catch a flat route and fumbles, and that's 2 weeks in a row we gave the opposition 14 points, and we got to clean that up. But the guys, they kept being resilient. And, got a chance to go in at 14-14. Defense did a really good job. Coach Rowe and that staff just kept us in it. The offense kind of got things rolling in the second half. Just wanted to challenge them at halftime to play our brand of football and, be the football team that we know they could. And offensively, you see the output, in which they did from a point standpoint and defense. They've just been playing consistent these last couple weeks. And, the kicking game also played well. So I'm proud of the guys to get that bad taste out their mouth after 2 weeks and just kind of falling short. I'm excited about, continuing to get better and going out tomorrow and righting some of these wrongs and finish this thing up strong.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Jim Klein-Peter.
Yeah, Coach, your team's still in the race. I mean, is there still a good vibe that way? Do they still talk about being able to finish and become the West champ?
Now I don't hear the West champ. I don't hear the aspect of championship per se, but that really hadn't been in the building at all. It's just finishing strong and having a winning season. That's kind of what I hear now. What they do in the dorm and not in the building, I don't know. But here is just next play, next day, stay in the moment. And so I'm just excited about them guys. We still hadn't played consistent football, and so we got a chance to go out practice tomorrow and continue to do that. So. They know what's at stake for us, the next game. You see what Prairie View did against, FAMU, and it's just a testament to this league. Any Saturday, anybody can get beat. So for us, it's a championship mentality, regardless of what the wins and losses entail. And so if we continue to have that mindset, we'll be where we need to be at the end.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Next question goes to Stephen.
Good morning, Coach.
Morning, Stephen.
Yeah, all right. If you could touch on Amarian Blake's receiver, your team from Shaw, his development and in terms of maybe his future with the program. You like the direction that he's headed in? I know he got in the end zone this past weekend for the first time.
And I'm gonna keep saying it till they get me up out of here, man. I'm just dear, and guys from where I'm from, man. I'm just really. They dear and near to me. And he's one, 7 miles up the road. I watched him play Pop Warner football. And kind of struggled early, Mississippi, Alabama, all-star game guy, got here and tore his leg up. But early in the year was kind of a selfish mentality. Coach, I want the ball, I'm open. And then we give it to him against McNeese and he fumbled it. So he just kind of settled down and started playing his, the type of ball that he need to do with an unselfish spirit. And so it's just good to see him down the stretch with his mom and his pops in the stands, getting a chance to hug them. And just seeing him playing well, was really good. But he also went through something, early to get the way he is, and then in the kicking game, it's a handful of offensive guys that's going down there making plays on the special team aspect, and he's doing it. So I'm just excited about his growth and development, but he's going to be a big time player for us when this thing all said and done.
Thank you, Coach.
Prayers also, Mr. Stevens, to the young man from Mississippi Valley from Hollandale, passing.
That's right. Again, appreciate it, Coach, and wish you well this week.
Thank you, sir.
Next question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach, how you doing today?
I'm blessed, Doc. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Talk about Xavier Vaughn had over 300 yards of total offense. Which part of that was 130 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns? What is it about his maturation that you see, and what do you think? What are some things you think he can improve for the rest of this season?
Well, he got to prove on. He got 2 turnovers in the red zone. He turned it over against Grambling right before the half, and we don't get points, and then he do it again. This Saturday. So we got to maintain, that football and get those points. And so It's the most important part of the game. And so, he got to clean the ball security aspect up. And I know he will, going forward. And then just watching, how he, deal with the trials and tribulations of just the football game, the ups and downs. He has that big turnover, but come right back, the first drive after the half and, help us, put it in the end zone. So he leads this team, don't say a whole lot, but by his action, he does a really good job of just getting guys where they need to be. And, just himself of doing things right. So, it's a lot of football for him to play along with this team. So we're excited about this one coming up and having the opportunity.
3 turnovers, but also the 10 penalties for the team. What is the 10? The 10 penalties that you had in the game. What do you want? Some things you want to try to do to clean that up before going down the prairie?
Yeah, a couple of those, at the end was just excessive. Got some young guys in. We pretty much played everybody. But we had 2 unsportsmanlike, just young guys, just being too jittery and playing too long. They got to stop on the whistle. But I'll definitely get that cleaned up. Then we had, a couple false start penalties, wideouts not getting set. We're trying to go fast, so we got to do a better job just from a meeting standpoint to make sure we got the operational, output where it needs to be, where everybody, is set. And so we'll start tomorrow cleaning that up because, it's a lot of plays and that can be successful as being called back because we're moving and not doing things from a discipline standpoint. So we'll make sure we, towel that up, as we go to play this really good team down in Houston.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Next question goes to Donald Ware.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Oh, I'm blessed. How about yourself?
Doing pretty good. Can you speak to overall in terms of how Xavier Vaughn has played this year, what he brings to the table and using his legs also?
Dual threat guy, just take commands of the system. He's been in the system for, 3 or 4 years now. Gets everybody involved. If you take away just that Southern game, man, we, that really good defense kind of got him rattled and had a turnover, really 2 turnovers, he's been consistent for us. He's throwing the ball better. You see him hit Tyron on the deep ball Saturday. You see him move around with his legs, but also make some plays with his legs and throwing the football. And so, he's a really good football player. He gives us a chance to win every Saturday. So he just got to work on the turnovers. We can't get a ball to these really good teams, in this league. And so he got to continue to hold the ball and make good decisions with it. But, man, really good football player, and just glad we got him a part of the program.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Next question goes to Perry Daniels.
Morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, we've often talked about Malachi Bailey on this call, but he had another big game that's worthy of discussing. 3 sacks, a forced fumble. Talk about that young man and his play Saturday.
I'd be remiss to just start with the person. He's Mr. Alcorn. When things was, kind of down, just campus wide and everybody else, he the ones that tell them to come out and support them in the rain. And then on the football field, as Coach Rowe, the coordinator, is starting to have to move him around a lot, because guys are sliding the protection around him and knowing where he at. And so you see him come through the B gap and make a big time play inside, but also on the right end and defensive end. And so the coordinator's doing a really good job of moving him around. But man, we just, a really good football player. He's SWAC through and through. He works his tail off. He gets everybody involved. When Truck has the turnover, he's the first one down to hug him. He's the first one in the offensive huddle. And so it's just, he got a couple more to play, and we need that output, every Saturday for us to have a chance. And he's doing a really good job leading us.
And Coach, what have you seen on film from this Prairie View team now that they've, they righten the ship and seem to be playing at their peak of the season right now?
Yeah, explosive. You watch it. Fam can run, but you look at a post route, they go, anywhere from 60 to 70 yards, and they run right past the corner. You see a quarterback that's steadfast in the pocket that makes really good decisions, and a rejuvenated run game. Big running backs. You see them, run over some guys last week, and you sit there and say, this is a really good team that looks way better than they played Pine Bluff. And so we got to be on our A game. The coordinator does a really good job of doing different concepts with the motions and all the shifts. And so we got to be sound, got to have a really good week of practice, and then we got to get on the road again to be ready to face this really good offense and defensive team.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Appreciate it, sir.
Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, next we will go over to Bethune-Cookman and Coach Raymond Woody. Once again, if you do have any questions for our coaches, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. Coach, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, we can't see your video. Are you able to turn your video on? Okay. Looks like might be some technical there with your video, but we're good with your audio, Coach. If you can hear us, okay. You can hear us, Coach?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, sounds good. We can get started. No problem.
Okay.
Coach, as always, thank you for taking some time out of your schedule to join us. Coach, if you could please start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's most recent outing versus Southern.
Had three. Obviously, it was a good atmosphere. I mean, Coach Graves had those guys, playing hard. It was a good fought game in the first half, and we basically came away with only 3 points. And go from the inch line, after looked like a tight end fell in the end zone. For 3-0, we was 3 going into the fourth quarter. Southern scored to go up 7-3. Offense responded, and they 10-7 with 7 minutes left. Defense, we held Southern to a field goal to tie 10-10, and then forced a turnover with a minute left, and then from the -47 we didn't capitalize, which was unfortunate. Southern scored, and then offense responded on the first play with Palmer TD, and then went the second overtime. Offense scored and then failed the 2-point conversion. Southern responded on the first play, and defense stopped the 2-point. Third overtime, defense stopped the second point, and we threw the rub short. And then fourth overtime, exchange failed attempts, and then fifth overtime, Southern 2-point good, and then we didn't convert, and they won the game.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Perry Daniels.
Coach, what a fantastic football game. How are you today, sir?
Doing great. I tell you, appreciate that. Yeah, the players fought hard. Proud of them. We just came up short. 5 overtimes.
Yes, but you did what has never been done. Bethune-Cookman hasn't beaten Southern, and you almost pulled it off, Coach. How's the mood of your team after that game?
Well, obviously they was, no more victories, right? I mean, they were disappointed because we was right there. But the ball didn't roll our way. But the guys, they believing, and that's the key. I mean, these guys, they come to work and go to work, and that's all I can ask. And like I said, we wish, we would have pulled that off, but hat goes off to Southern, and Coach Graves them for, winning it.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Doc Holliday. You're on mute. Can you hear us, Doc?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
Coach Woody, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'm doing good, doing good. Tell me what you
what did you tell your team after a game like this where it could have went either way, it could have went your way, either overtime? What did you tell your team as far as that goes?
You mean after you say what did I tell them?
Yeah, what did you tell them? Like, because of the simple fact that the game could have went either way, first, second, third overtime. What do you tell them after a game like that?
Well, like I tell them all the time. I mean, you still have to finish. Uh, got to keep fighting. Obviously we need to practice more situationals. I mean, which we do all the time. We need to put them in situations, and hopefully we get in their type of game again. We'll find a way to win. But you encourage them. But at the end of the day, just put them in those situations over and over again. So like I said, hopefully you get in that situation again, you pull it out.
And with Cam Ransom, looked like he's been improving every week since the homecoming game. What are some things you want to do with him as far as going down for the last few games to kind of feature him more?
Well, I mean, he's getting better each week. Obviously, just his reads, from right to left. I mean, he's a dual threat guy, and we want to throw the ball a little more with him. I know he's a guy that can pull it at any point, but I know just to improve his all around game, he's more of a runner, and he's starting to get better, passing, reading one side of the field as far as his progression.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Any final questions for Coach? All right, Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Thank you. My hat goes off to Coach Wade and the community too, as well, Mississippi Valley.
Appreciate it, Coach.
My prayer.
All right, we'll pause momentarily. Thank you for your patience. We are working to reach Coach Colsey with Florida A&M. We'll be back as soon as we're able to get him on the call. Thank you for your patience. Once again, for our media participants, if you have questions for our coaches, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. Please limit your questions to one initial question. If there are several questions, they're already in the queue. If there's additional time, feel free to re-raise your hand to get additional questions answered. I do believe that we have Coach Colsey with us. Can you hear us, Coach?
I hear you guys loud and clear. Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem. And Coach, as always, thank you so much for taking some time out of your schedule to join us. Coach, if you could please start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's most recent outing versus Prairie View.
Hats off, Coach McDowell. Got a chance to talk to him after the game. They did a great job putting a great game plan together. No excuses from our end. We gotta shake it off and get ready for this upcoming weekend against Mississippi Valley. But again, hats off to them and credit to them as far as them winning this past Saturday.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Doc Holliday.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing today?
I've had better Mondays, Doc. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Can you tell us about the after the game with the small incident between both football teams heading towards the locker room, and what was your approach as far as with going with discipline?
Well, our athletic director, obviously made a statement on the behalf of the university. Obviously, believe it or not, Coach McDowell actually talked. Him and I spoke after the game and shared our sentiments. I come from a place where you get your butt beat, take your butt into the locker room, and do the things you normally are supposed to do. So I was on my way, but obviously noticed a couple things that happened. I went back out there to get it all situated. But as I said, our AD made a statement about everything, and I think the stuff that Coach McDowell and I talked about. We'll keep in house, but there definitely are some penalties that we may have to as we get everything cleared up, to get it all situated as far as what we need to do on our end.
And my second question is the status of Daniel Richardson. I know you say he went out with a concussion. Is he in concussion protocol right now?
Yeah, well, he got knocked out, in the first quarter of the football game, and just watching him those first initial minutes, and obviously once he got back up, he was dinged up pretty bad, going through concussion protocol right now. We held him out of practice last night. This is our day off, amongst it being, a holiday. So we'll seek further evaluation on him in the next few days.
I appreciate you, Coach.
No problem, Doc.
Next question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Perry, how you doing, boss?
I'm well. How are you?
Hey,
Yeah.
Tough Monday, but we gotta get back going.
Absolutely. Hey, Coach, so these two programs have played 3 times in the past 12 months. Is this developing into a conference rivalry?
Yeah, Prairie View and us?
Yes.
Well, we obviously played them, 2 times last year, with one being the SWAC championship game. And obviously this past weekend, they were a team that we felt that we need to be ready for, right? I can't say how different the game would have been, when you're missing a guy who's leading the conference in passing, and got 19 touchdowns, and losing a guy like that early in the game definitely makes you adjust some things in your game plan. Right? But we knew going down there, because McDowell was going to have him ready. And then obviously the circumstances came about that they made some plays that we did not. I would hope it would be a rivalry, because they do a great job as a staff. They did a great job preparing them. And obviously we'd love to get an opportunity to play them again. But I think in our schedule next year we don't play them again, unless it would be in a SWAC championship football game. So if it does become a rivalry, they would have liked. But it was a very good football game. I thought they had a great atmosphere. There was obviously some sentiments of them trying to get us back from what had transpired over the last year with the 2 games that we did play. But again, they did a great job. Hats off to them. They took advantage of our mistakes, and Coach McDowell had them ready to go. And that's what I told them right when we shook hands at the 50-yard line. So I congratulate them for having them ready to go and having a great game plan on some of the things that we hadn't done well throughout the year.
Thank you, Coach.
No problem. Thank you.
Next question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Yeah, Coach. You mentioned on Saturday that you're now hoping to finish out the season at 8-4, considering it doesn't appear right now there's going to be postseason play in your future. When you examine the season up to this point, what were some of the things from your estimation do you believe kind of held the football team back through not able
throughout the year? That comes to bite you, and I think over the last couple of years, with me as an assistant, and the head coach and defensive back, I don't think we won the hidden yardage battle that we normally would win throughout our special teams. So, you had some things this last couple of weeks where those things have come, even though we won football games with it. It hit its head this past weekend. We had turnovers, we had some injuries, hidden yardage wasn't where it needed to be, and there was a couple times, on Saturday we needed to make some really, really good tackles just to keep ourselves in the game, and we didn't. So, at times it may come in bits and pieces, and then at times it hits you all at once. And this past Saturday, it hit us all at once.
And my follow-up question to that is, Coach, was there maybe some deficiencies with not being able to stop the run earlier in the season and not being able to run the ball early in the season that kind of led to some of the issues you guys had with slow starts and not being able to finish in a lot of games coming down the stretch?
Well, I went back to that. I went back and looked at that stuff, believe it or not, last night, just looking at some things early in the games, seeing where we were. When you put stuff up on film, right, and you got some quality, you got some great coaches, throughout the SWAC and throughout the HBCU culture. You got guys that are going to look at the film and they're going to see what you do well, and they're going to see what you don't do well. And then when you go week by week, right, they're going to see what you don't do well, and those are the things that they're going to harp on. So, the offense are giving us some different alignments. Defense is giving us some different alignments, and we expect certain things when we play them, and then when they play us, they do some things that are a little bit different on both sides of the football. So, credit to the staff. They're doing a great job of looking at some of our deficiencies and and are taking advantage of it. But on top of that, right, we had some things that early in the year as we were getting ready, we didn't take full advantage of, and again it's coming back to bite us a little bit, and it's up to me as the head football coach of this team to make sure we finish this season strong, and then make sure we take care of those deficiencies moving forward as we get ready for 2025.
I appreciate it, Coach.
Any final questions for Coach? Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
I appreciate you guys, and good luck to everybody this upcoming weekend.
Thank you. All right, we now go over to Grambling State and Coach Mickey Joseph. Once again, if you do have any questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Joseph with Grambling State. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Doing great, Coach, and thanks so much for taking some time out of your schedule to join us. Coach, if you could, please start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's most recent outing versus Alabama State.
Well, just on another tight game. We expect every game to be like this. Take your hat off to my kids and to my coaches. Not didn't panic. Because we've been there before, and to continue to fight to the end. At halftime, I think the butt chewing that they were giving each other, really worked because they was holding each other accountable. And I think that's hard, with this generation that they don't hold each other accountable. But at that time, we were down by 2 scores. They were holding each other accountable, and I asked them just to play 1 quarter at the time because I know they wouldn't quit. But I want them to be mentally strong for 1 quarter at the time. And we stayed in the fight. And finally, the kid missed the field goal. Probably was a chip shot for him. Don't know what went wrong with him. But the kids fought. So take my hat off to coaches and the kids.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach, how you doing today?
Doc, how you doing? I'm doing fine.
I'm doing good, doing good. You got a short week this week, playing on Thursday night. Uh, have you told your team about playing in a environment as far as on Thursdays, Thursday night football?
Well, most of them, coming from high school, they've been on this schedule before, where your Sunday has to be your Monday. So they've been on been on this schedule before, somewhere down in their career. But the travel is what we had to really talk about, because it's going to take 7 to 8 hours on the bus to get there. So that's what we had to say. Hey, that's not an excuse. We're going to prepare like we normally prepare, and we're going to travel. It's just going to be a little longer on the bus. But once we get there, it's no excuse. I expect us to perform. I expect us to come out and play strong in all 3 phases, because this is part of playing, college football. That you're going to have short weeks, and also you're going to have long bus trips. So we're not going to use that for excuse. We just got to get them, continue to prepare like we normally do. And we just got to leave a little earlier.
And then you had 171 yards on the ground on Saturday. Um, tell us about Elon Elder, who's been there for a while, and what does he provide as far as leadership on the offense? It's just for the whole team.
Well, with Elder, he's been there for a while. You're right. He had his ups and downs here at Grambling, and he was a kid that just stuck with the program. He never pouted. Because sometimes kid can pout and it can affect your team. If he did pout, he didn't show it. He came to play. He came to practice every day. He came to work, and he got on special teams, and some of the reps would cut back at the running back room, and he wasn't getting them in his carries and doing a year, but he stuck with it. And so you throw your hats off to him and a kid like Telbert. They kept grinding, kept chopping wood. They kept saying, "We'll put the team first. I'm gonna put the team first," and that's rare. These kids can put things in front of them. So they did that, and now they both are having outstanding endings towards the end of the season, and you got to appreciate that, and that's the type of kids you want in your program, and that's what we got to continue to form our kids into kids like that, and that's going to also help the winning get going right away, when you get kids like with character like that. But he's been great for the program, and he's been great for me, because it's something that a coach enjoys to see, when a kid like that reps a count and he don't pout, he just keeps fighting. His kid's going to be very successful in life.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Perry. How you doing?
Let's talk about the dynamic of beating your friend in that fashion.
Hey, yeah, that's the and it's always that it's because you're friends with a lot of these coaches outside of the profession, and been knowing Eddie, since we were teenagers, and you're going to compete, because he's going to compete, but just for the players and the coaches, it felt good for them, and I you hated that it has to be Eddie over there, and you just hate it, that you got to go against a friend, but we understand the profession, and wins and losses keep our jobs. But it was a good win for Grambling. But for us, how I feel about Eddie, like I told him after the game, I appreciate everything that he does for me, because it's one person I can call, besides my brother Vance and my cousin Terry, 2 people, gonna tell me the truth, and Eddie's gonna be one of them. And appreciate everything he did for me, and still doing for me in this profession, to help me to get where I'm at today. But it's always hard when you're playing a guy that you have a lot of respect for, and you win. But we both understand the profession.
You've spoken about the environment at halftime. What about after the game in the locker room? How was that environment?
Oh no, we were happy. The kids were happy. You can see it's a monkey off their back, because they've been fighting. I mean, every game that they lost, except the Louisiana Lafayette game's been 1-score games. And that's hard, because you got to try to figure out this. And I said it last week. It's the same book. Okay, well, let's find out what's going wrong. Let's see if we can pull one of these out. And this was good. This was good for the program to be able to pull out one of these close games. But like you said, the kids never panic, the coaches never panic, and offensive line did a great job. D line did a great job of stopping the run, So it was a great atmosphere after the game. You know, Coach Ellis came in and he was able to talk to him, and he loves speaking to him. That Coach Ellis is one of the guys, my mentors here, who you know, he loves Grambling. And he loves Grambling. So he's always gonna sit and say, this what I see. But he got him fired up at the end, and you know, we loved everything about the atmosphere after the game.
Thank you, Coach. You're doing a great job. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Yeah, Coach. Will Bailey be quarterback these last 2 games, or have you made a determination about that yet?
Well, we're still working to see you know, how Miles is gonna look this week. We're gonna put into a workout here pretty soon to see where he's at. He won't play if I feel like he can't protect himself on the field, and he's ready to go. He's ready to go, but as his head coach and myself, you know, I got to make sure that he can get out there and he can protect himself. He can move around before I say yes, he can go. But he's preparing to go, and hopefully we'll have him for Thursday night.
So what does protecting himself actually look like for you?
That he can move around, and he can get out the pocket when he needs to get out of pocket, and that he can step into his throws. There's a lot of things he's gonna have to do for me today. So, and he understands that. He understands that.
Yeah, I asked that question, Coach, because earlier in the season you mentioned some of his struggles were attributed to him not trusting his protection, and he needed more protection in the pocket. Has the offensive line play given you a little bit more confidence that you can put him out there at this point?
Well, we put him out there. He's gonna probably be under the same game plan what we're doing now. He's gonna turn around and hand it off. You know, he's gonna turn around and hand it off and try to protect him. But I won't put him out there if I think he's not healthy enough to help us win the game. You know, and that's the thing about it. Even with protection, you still have to escape. You see, even with Delj has to escape with his legs. So, you know, I got to make sure that he's able to do that before we put him out there. But yes, I think the offensive line is getting better, but we're still getting pressure on the quarterback.
I appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you.
Final questions for Coach?
I appreciate you guys and everybody. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next we go over to Arkansas Pine Bluff and Coach Alonzo Hampton. Once again, if you do have questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. All right, good morning, Coach.
Hey, it won't let me start the video. Says you had stopped it.
Okay, hold on one second, Coach.
Yeah, that's you, Andrew. Yeah, come on, man.
All right, let's see if we can get it. There you go.
All right, yeah, Andrew, you the one been tripping everybody up. Yeah, we figured out who it is. It's you.
Appreciate you taking some time to join us, Coach. If you could start us out with an opening statement, recapping your team's most recent outing versus Alabama A&M.
Obviously, the game didn't turn out the way we wanted. We had every opportunity to win the game. Got 3 turnovers early in the game. Had a chance to probably be up at least probably 14-3 or somewhere 17-3. Had the turnovers early, didn't capitalize on them. Got the ball down there in the red zone, first drive, get a penalty, get the field goal. We get the interception, ball's on the plus 30. Get 2 penalties, get backed up, miss a 45-yard field goal. They go down and score. Then we take the ball back and go score. Just a lot of missed opportunities, but we'll give Alabama A&M credit. Obviously, that team is a really good football team. I don't know how they're in the position they're in with the way they got some really good players over there. So hats off to Coach Maynard and his team, and we just got to get better. Got a really good opponent. We got to go down to Baton Rouge. See my good friend, Coach Miller. I used to be his GA. They're winning the games, the close games, and that's what it's about in this league. You don't have that much separation amongst the top teams, you know. So it'd be good. Excited about it.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Tanner Spearman.
Good morning, Coach. Talking about Southern, they've got one of the best pass rushers in the league, and Kelby Givens. What do you guys got to do with the difficulties you've had in pass protection, to minimize his impact on this game? And with your rushing offense being better the past few weeks, is that something that you can use to help with that?
We got to rush the ball better. We got to strain harder on blocks. We got to get the ball out of our hands quicker. Southern defense is really, really good. Coach Miller does an outstanding job.
No, I turned it on.
Coach Miller does an outstanding job with that defense. Coach Graves, defensive-minded guy. And we got our work cut out. But, I mean, we got some things. We got some players. But we need to be able to protect and get that ball out of his hands. Let Makai be able to see what's going on in front of him. And we got to be able to run the football. It's like really disappointing. We had a 4th down, 4th and 2. Man, we don't block a guy, unblock. Man, the Alabama A&M game is frustrating, but, we'll take this day and continue to watch film on Southern. They're really good. And it's the reason they're the best team in the West. They don't panic when they get down. They're going to be in every game. The quarterback's good. The running backs are good. And defenses, they're really good. So we got to come ready to play.
I think, Coach.
Next question goes to Jim Klein-Peter.
Hi, Coach. Would you talk a little bit about this connection between Higgins and Gibson and how that has developed? And, did you see chemistry there right away between those two?
No, I mean, obviously, the ball is finding an open person. And for the last couple of weeks, he hadn't been open. Like you said, Alabama A&M, people are starting to double him. They starting to trip and put a guy in front of him. But we got other guys we got to get the ball to. We have other guys that are open, and Makai just needs to be able to drop the ball off to the other guys that are open. And because nobody's going to let one person beat you. And Giovanni's a really, really talented football player. And we have number one, you heard Coach Maynard say that kid is really good. And we got Kareem Burke, KJ, finally been able to put a couple weeks of practice together. He can play. If we can just hold up, give him an opportunity to see what's going on, and we got him taking all the hits, we're going to have a chance to compete in every game. So that's just the frustrating part. And I was joking with Coach Maynard before the game, man. He got about 700 linemen. I wish he'd send me a couple of them, O-line, D-line, man, because them some of the biggest kids I've seen in a long time. And quite honestly, that's what's kind of holding us back. But this week, we'll have a great game plan, to be able to hopefully get the ball to our receivers. And we always talk about in this offense, the ball find the guys that are working the hardest. And so the other guys has got to continue to work. Makai is not forcing the ball to Giovanni, but, I mean, a lot of times that kid, he wants it. He makes sure he gets open.
Next question goes to Keisha Kelly.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Okay, so we'll give you credit now. You're talking about how good Southern's team is, but we seen your offense, and so Pine Bluff is doing some great things too. I know it's a lot of things that you want to correct. How are you preparing for this week to make sure that y'all execute and go down to Baton Rouge and possibly get that win?
Well, like I said, we got to take what the defense is giving us. We know Coach Miller is a heavy pressure guy, and they're going to play some man coverage. We got to win our one-on-one battles. But again, we need to be able to protect the quarterback. Obviously, we got a running quarterback. He can run. So we got to be able to do a lot of things to keep them off balance. I don't think it's any secret on how Southern plays football. They hard-nosed. They want to run the football. They don't do a lot of crazy things. They just saying, hey, our guys, they're very sound on offense, defense, and special teams. Watched them all last night. Been watching this morning. They're a good football team. And I'm happy for Coach Grave. I don't know him personally, but man, I'm happy that he got that opportunity to be the head coach, and he's taking advantage of it. And obviously, like I said, Coach Miller means a lot to me. Just because I worked under him when I first started as a volunteer coach here at UAPB, he used to tell me, "Hamp, man, you need to calm down, man, back up." So I'm always looking forward to being able to reconnect with him. And so it'll be a good game. We got to have a great game plan, offense, defense, and special team. We know where some of our issues are, and we got to be able to correct those. and we need to be able to go down there and give ourselves a chance. You know, offensive, we've been able to do that, but you know, the last couple of weeks, man, haven't been able to keep our quarterback upright. And so we'll have to get that ball out a little quicker this week.
All right, good luck, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Next question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach, how you doing today?
Doing great.
This game, we all know about the connection 9 to 11, but what are you going to try to do as far as getting your run game going with BJ Curry and Zamarian Weber against Southern?
I mean, obviously, last week, BJ had 11 carries for 59 yards, average 5.4. Zamarian Carey had 7 carries for 62 yards, average 8.9. The problem is we get to third down and we get penalties, holding penalties. We're moving the ball on everybody. Then we get in our own way. It's those penalties that are holding us back offensively. If we can stay in third and manageable, we kind of did the breakdown. Like, we're stopping ourselves. Now, we're going to give the defense credit because, you know, a lot of times we haven't been able to protect, on the pass rushes. It's some really good defensive linemen in this league. And so we got to continue to do a better job recruiting. And then we got to be able to max protect some to help those guys out as well. But if we can keep you in third and manageable, you're going to be in trouble because Mekhi, he can run it. And we got weapons that we hadn't even been able to get the ball to because the quarterback is on the move. And we don't want him on the move like that.
I appreciate you, Coach.
Next question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Morning.
Hey, Coach. We talked about your offensive line, but your defensive line is last in the SWAC in sacks.
Yep.
Talk about what you're going to do there to increase that productivity.
Recruit. Say it again. Recruit. We got to recruit O-linemen, we got to recruit D-linemen. And that is our job as coaches. We got to do it every single day. You got to do it every night. All right. This program here is a blue collar program. All right. Everybody has to find a way. All right. You got to take out 2 hours a day to be reaching out to players so we can get them in here. That's what we're missing. All right. And we're year 2. First year we lost big. Now we're losing close. Now we got to turn the program around. We got to go out and recruit players. You shouldn't even be sleeping, honestly. And I don't mean this in a negative way. I tell the coaches this, like, I'm going to be the hardest working one in the building, okay? I probably sleep 3 or 4 hours a night. I love it. I signed up for it. I want this opportunity. But how are we going to do it? We got to go out and get offensive and defensive linemen. So that's our only concern, offensive and defensive linemen. We'll find receivers. We'll find quarterbacks. All right, we happen to have 2 good ones. But if you don't get O-line and D-line in this league, you're out of luck. And so that's where we're at. We're out of luck right now. And so we're being very creative in the things that we're doing. But, that's why we only got 2 sacks. We don't have a guy that can rush the passer like that. We don't have O-linemen that are strained on the block that can knock people off the ball. And so we're just being creative with the things that we have. We know our challenges, but we take those as opportunities to be able to go out and flip this program.
Thank you, Coach.
Final questions for Coach. Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Oh, yeah. To my guy, Coach Wade, man. Had a chance to talk to him yesterday through text, praying for you and your staff. And obviously, man, we know God is more than a comforter, and he's going to comfort you and your team. And my prayers are with you all.
Appreciate it, Coach. All right, next we go over to Mississippi Valley State, and Coach Kendrick Wade. And Coach, much like many of the coaches on the call, just want to send our condolences here from the conference office on the loss to your program.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Coach, as always, we appreciate you taking some time out of your schedule to join us. Coach, if you could start us out, excuse me, with an opening statement recapping your team's most recent outing versus Jackson State.
Well, first of all, just want to thank everybody for reaching out. The support has been overwhelming. I can't begin to tell you how much it's meant to me, meant to this program. for everybody who's reached out to us, to my brothers on this call, the coaches who've reached out, calls and texts, Eddie Robinson, Coach Maynard, Coach Hamp, Coach Thomas, Mickey, that's to name a few of those guys. Of course, TC and I had moments before and after the game. So thank you guys for that. It just kind of reminds us on why we do what we do. You know, it's bigger than football, and we get paid to beat each other, compete against each other, but just to get those calls and texts meant everything to me. And I just want to say thank you guys for that. I'm so proud of my team. Went down and played hard, went down to Jackson, played extremely hard. You know, it was tough circumstances to go and play this game, but we did it. We woke up that morning to some tragic news, and you know, a few hours later, I told them we got to get on the bus and we got to go play a game. And those guys went out there and they did what we asked them to do. Came up short. Jackson State, really good football team. I said it last week. I think they're the best team in the SWAC. They're big. They're physical. TC doing a really good job with that program. So again, it was tough, you know, but tough times don't last. Tough people do, and you know, we getting ready for FAM. We turn our attention to FAMU.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Keisha Kelly.
Hey, Coach. First, I'll offer my condolences as well in the loss of a player. I know how tough that can be. My question is, how are the players handling it as far as like their mental health? Because that's a lot to deal with. How are the players handling it as well as the coaches?
Yeah, I mean, we all dealing with it. I mean, you know, it takes time. You know, you're talking about grieving. I mean, it's a process. So we didn't do anything football related yesterday. We didn't watch the film. We didn't lift weights. Didn't do anything. Brought our pastor in, and we got some professionals coming in. Just kind of talk to the kids and make sure that they're in a really good headspace. It's tough, you know. So again, as coaches, it's tough for us as well. Particularly head coach. I'm hurting, but I can't walk around and have my chest down, and you know, I can't look defeated, because if I do, then they're gonna do the same thing. So I have to be strong right now, and I got to be strong for those kids. So you know, we're all hurting, but we're dealing with it. And like I told them, these times don't last. Tough times don't last. Tough people do, and God never put more on us than we can handle. So we're dealing with it.
All right. Well, prayers to you and that Mississippi Valley family.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Next question goes to Stephen.
Good morning, Coach. And again, heart goes out to you and your players, as well as the Mississippi Valley State family. Could you touch on the type of person that Ryan was and kind of player he was, and in terms of what he was like off the field as well?
And I mean, personality through the roof. Real likable kid. Any room he stepped in, it was better. You know, his just energy. I mean, very affectionate. Man, a great young man, very respectful. Very popular kid. I mean, around this campus, I mean, Ryan Quinnen was probably one of the most popular kids on this campus, just because who he is as a person. Man, hardworking kid. Very talented kid. I was talking to Ryan about going to SWAC Media Day next year. So when the season started, just kind of talked to Quinn about going out having a great season and possibly him being the guy to go with me to SWAC Media Day. But a really good kid, well respected, and you know, he'll be missed for sure.
All right, thank you, Coach. And again, my heart goes out and wish you well during this difficult time and moving forward.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, Steve.
Next question goes to Doc Holliday.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing today?
Doc, good morning.
Good morning. Again, giving my condolences to you and to the program. Perry, I think Perry got my question already, but as far as him being a team leader, how was he a team leader as far as getting guys?
Can you
going?
speak up, Doc?
Oh, how was he as a team leader getting guys going on the team, on the field, practice, classroom? How was he as far as just a student athlete all around?
No, man, it was really good. You know, I had good grades. Man, he just was an energy guy. Like I said, whenever he stepped in the room, he was goofy. He was funny. He was a funny dude. You know, like I said, players love being around him. I mean, he's gonna dance. He's gonna crack jokes. He just through and through. He was a really good kid. He was a really good young man. And man, I just have to just give respect to his mom, the way she's handled this, to lose our baby, and been talking to her every day, and the way she's handled this thing has been amazing. She did a great job raising that young man. He have a twin brother. Talked to his brother. So Ryan Quinton, he'll be missed. I mean, it hurts. It still doesn't feel real. Still feel like a dream. But really good kid. This program is we're gonna miss him, and he'll forever live in all of our hearts. And you know, we created memories that's gonna last a lifetime. So you know, may he rest in peace now. The things we deal with on a daily basis, the struggles and things we have to deal with, he no longer have to deal with. And to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. So he's in a place of peace right now. And that gives us a little solace knowing that he's at peace right now.
Man, I appreciate you, Coach. And good
Yes,
luck
sir.
next week, man.
Next question goes to Melvin Bill.
Good afternoon, Coach. I want to offer my condolences in the loss of your player. I want to ask you, how has your faith helped you and the organization get through this?
That's it. You know, that's exactly what it is. You know, faith is you know, just believing in something that you hadn't seen. And we don't know why this happened, but we do know that God don't make any mistakes. Just just the faith in the Lord is definitely helping us. We all have been through some things, and I told the players, we've all been through something. In those moments we didn't think we can make it, we made it. And you know, this here should come to pass. And you know, I just encourage everybody to just have faith and keep God first. Without him, we're not getting through this. Without our faith in the Lord, we don't get on the bus and go play that game against Jackson State. So just keep God first is what we tell people. Love your loved ones. You're never too macho to tell people how much you love them. We're never too macho to cry. We cried together. We wiped our tears together. And because of our faith in each other and the faith in the Lord, we was able to get on the bus and go down and play hard, man, for 30 minutes. You know, it's kind of talking about that game. Our kids played extremely hard that first half, and they left it on empty. You know, unfortunately, we ran out of gas. Second half, we didn't have much to give, but man, just keep going.
Absolutely, Coach. And again, my condolences go out to you guys. Shifting gears here a little bit, you have to get on the bus and come to Tallahassee to face a Florida A&M team that's reeling a little bit after their loss to Prairie View. Coach, what is it, your assessment of this team's offensively, defensively, and on special teams?
FAMU is good. Got some really good skill players. Really good skill players. Of course, got a quarterback who's really good, and they got some receivers who are good. They're good up front. On the back end, they're really good. Just a really good football team. Got a lot of speed. They're physical. They got depth. So it's going to be a great challenge for us, I'm telling you, but we're looking forward to it. We're going to go down to Tallahassee. We're going to compete our ass off. We're still trying to get our first W. So we're going down there to get it. You know, it's not about fam, it's about us. So again, making sure that we go down with the right mindset, and we're going to get after it. It's going to be a challenge. Really good football team. We know they are upset. They're coming off a tough loss versus PV. But again, we're looking forward to getting down to Tallahassee and getting after it. We hadn't tasted victory, so we're looking forward. And you know, we're going to push forward this weekend.
Again, my condolences, Coach. Safe travels to Tallahassee, and hopefully I'll get a chance to meet you down here.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right, next we go over to Prairie View A&M and Coach Bubba McDowell. Once again, if you do have a question, please utilize your raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach McDowell with Prairie View A&M. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Coach, as always, appreciate you taking some time to join us. If you could start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's most recent outing versus Florida A&M.
Yeah, let me just first give my condolences to Coach Wade, coaching staff, and their players, and the university as a whole, the Valley family. Man, you are the rock. You know, coaches are the rock right now for these young men. Man, you just keep hang in there again, and we'll be praying for you here at the university, Prairie View University as well, man. I know what kind of character that you portray, young man, and again, just keep doing what you're doing, and teaching these young men to go in the right direction, man. Again, be that rock for them. Coming off a great weekend against a really good team, fam, you know, we as coaches put the challenges to the players all week long. You know, what kind of identity that we're going to set forth coming into this weekend against a very, very good football team, very explosive football team on all phases, special teams, offense and defense, you know, and how are we going to match them for us talent, for us execution, and, you know, and I put it on the coaches, and they put it back on the players, and came up with a great game plan offensively, defensively, special team wise. And man, these guys, I'm so proud of these young men accepting the challenge, and again, playing against a really, really good football team. And they came out, played 4 quarters of football, which we've been trying to do, hadn't done it the whole season. And, you know, so it was really good to see them come out, execute what the coaches was calling, you know, coaches putting players in position, playmakers in position to make plays. And more importantly, they came up with some really big plays. We love some plays out there, but again, that happens with good football teams. We go up against good football teams. Now, basically comes down to, you know, who's gonna make the most plays, the most explosive plays to win the game. And we did that. And again, like I said, I guess a really good football team. And like I said, I can't be proud enough for these young men coming out, accepting the challenge that the coach put forth in front of them all week.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach McDowell, how you doing today?
I'm good, Doc. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good. You had a good birthday week as far as this week?
Yes, sir, I did. Thank you.
Culminating in a victory over FAMU. What are the things that you tried to do as far as on the defensive side to make sure that the receivers didn't get off of the line where they're the most explosive?
Yeah, again, we know what kind of athletes they have over there, and you know, we put the challenge to the DBs. You know, Coach Dan Lemke and myself did a little extra with the DBs this past week, and you know, and just doing some things. You know, while Coach Dan was doing during our normal practice time, and then when we go into special teams time, I would take the DBs over there and we do some extra stuff, you know, little drills and stuff, and just talk about what needs to be done, you know, and just accept the challenge, because they got some explosive guys on that side of football, and it was just about our guys, you know, accepting the challenge, Doc, and again, just putting guys in position. Coach Rock and Coach Dan put guys in position, you know, to help us, you know, to win game. Again, you know, we was always under the pressure. Again, we don't ever give up the big plays. You know, we were going to be in the ball game, and we gave a lot of big last year. You know, DBs, and we talked about that as well. So again, just challenging them to, you know, go out there and do their very best, you know, against a really good football team with some really good wide receivers. You know, and more importantly to you know, come up when we have a chance to come up with some turnovers and make big plays, we make them. You know, defensively we did that. You know, 2 interception, 1 for a pick 6. So again, very proud of these young men. You know, accepting that challenge from Coach Lemke and Coach Rock.
And second question, will Shamar Savage be available for the Alcorn game?
Yeah, he's getting better. He's getting better. You know, the contusions are getting a lot better. He looked really good out there today. Again, it'll be depending on how much he does this week and whether or not he's gonna play in the game. But we definitely gonna monitor it. Again, look pretty good out there running. It wasn't full speed, but again, look good enough to run. So as the week goes, we'll see where he is, his body is at that particular time.
Appreciate you, Coach.
You're welcome, Doc.
Next question goes to Perry Daniels.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you, Perry. Appreciate it, man.
Big win, big win.
Huge win. Good football.
Let's talk about how much last year's results factored into the motivation for this year's game.
Oh, big time. Yeah. And we talked about it, again, it was a way to get these guys motivated, talking about, last year, bringing it up twice, playing against a really good football team. And, we going into this game don't want that to happen again. So in order for them not to let that happen again, they're going to have to challenge these guys. Again, they knew what kind of football team Fam was coming into Prairie View, and they was going to have to match it, and more importantly, they're going to have to exceed it, in order for us to win this football game. Again, this game has been around a long time, and is, Coach Manning said earlier in his interview in the program about, putting players in position to make plays and do what you do best. Don't try to do too much, just put players in position what they know how to do, whether it's running, passing, and let them do it, and just let your athletes go out and do that. And again, they took on the challenge, of a good team coming in here, again, who lost, to Jackson, in the last minute. So they knew what was at stake. You try to throw that in their face as much as you can about last year and redeeming yourself. And they took on the challenge, man. They came out and we played 4 quarters of football. We know that Fam was a big second half team, and we wasn't as a group, as a team. So we challenged them to come out and play just as hard the second half as they did the first half, and make more plays than Fam did, and that's what we did.
And you talked about limiting their big plays, but you had a few big plays of your own. I want to talk about James Burns with 5 receptions for 117 yards and the 70-yard reception that he had.
Again, just putting players in position to make plays. We got some guys, again, that can make plays. And again, we knew that. And that's why we went out and got him. And unfortunately, it wasn't happening early in the season as we wanted to, would like to have had it happen. But, we talked about in the second half of the season, finishing strong and, and again, keep reiterating, putting players in position, our top players in position to make plays. And anytime, that happens, you got a really good chance of winning the football game.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this week.
Thank you, sir.
Final questions for Coach. Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Thank you, guys. Good luck this week. Hang in there, big weight. Hang in there, buddy.
Appreciate it, Coach. All right, next we go over to Southern University and Coach Graves. Once again, if you do have questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Graves with Southern University. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Drew. How are you?
I'm good, Coach. Appreciate you as always. Coach, thank you for taking some time to join us. If you could start us out with an opening statement, recapping your team's most recent outing versus Bethune-Cookman.
Well, first of all, let me start off by saying that my thoughts and prayers goes out to the Valley State family, Coach Wade and his program and the entire university. I had the unfortunate situation happen when I was there at Valley State some years ago. So I know you're going through something tough right now, but we all know that there's a God that sits high and looks low, and he has a comforter for us. So y'all just hang in there. Second of all, I also want to congratulate our women's soccer team for winning their first ever SWAC championship in the history of Southern University. So congratulations to Coach Fontenot and his program. Saturday was a great day. It was game day. here on the Bluff. We had overcast. They had storm brewing in the Gulf, and it had a dreary feel to it. But it was, nonetheless, the weather was good. Bethune-Cookman, Coach Woody and his team, he came in here fired up, ready to go, and they came in here wanting to win. And those guys played a tremendous football game. We were fortunate to make one more play than they did and come out victorious. Hats off to Coach Woody. He's doing a great job with his program. I was glad. I'm excited at the fact that we got to win. I'm not. I was disappointed at the way that we played. We didn't play to the standard that we are capable of playing or what we expected to play, but we got to win nonetheless. And we'll use that as teaching moments to make sure that we pay attention, because we have a very good UAPB football team coming in here this week.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Keisha Kelly.
Hey, Coach. Good afternoon from Atlanta.
Hey, Keisha, how you doing?
I'm good. I echo your congratulations to the soccer team. I was super excited about that. 5 overtimes, Coach. That's heart palpitations for the Jaguar Nation. That's near death though. What are y'all doing this week as you get ready to take on this it is pretty good University of Arkansas Pine Bluff team with Coach Hampton? What are y'all doing to clean up some of those mistakes from this past weekend?
Well, as Coach Roderick Fobbs used to say, we gotta scratch where it itches, and we gotta pay attention to the detail and make sure that we're doing what we have to do, that we execute at a high level with a great level of efficiency and execution to gives ourselves a chance to be successful.
All right. Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
Question goes to Perry Daniels.
Coach, you sure have a flair for the dramatic.
Uh-huh.
You
you doing,
and your
Jerry?
team.
No,
How
I'm
you
just
doing
waiting
today,
for
sir?
It's your side out.
How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm super fantastic, man. The Jags won. Let's talk about your quarterback rotation. We noticed that when Xavier Tissett struggled, you didn't go to Noah Botton. You went to Woods. Talk about the rationale there.
Well, that was the rotation we had all week. And, the offensive staff, hats off to them. They do a great job of preparing those guys. As I always say, we're going to play the players that give us the best chance to win the ball game. And Jalen Woods had he prepared himself to as a starter, even though he didn't start the game. It just so happened his number was called and he was ready. And that's hats off to that young man for being prepared when his number was ready to call. We tell him all the time, you got to make sure that you're preparing to play every play, because you're only one play away. And then also, if your mind is not focused on being ready to play, then you won't be ready to play when you're called upon.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
This question goes to Tanner Spearman.
Good morning, Coach. Kelby Givens, another great day for him. 2 sacks, 3.5 tackles for loss. And he's had a sack in every conference game but one for you guys. What has made him so consistent week in and week out?
I say it all the time. He's consistent in the way that he lives. He's the same exact way every single day. He practices the way. When people see him play on Saturday, that's just a production of the rehearsal of how he performs every single day in practice. He's 100 miles an hour every single day in practice. He's the same way in the iron hole, the weight room. He's that way. That's just Kelby. And that's what happens. You're going to play like you practice. He practices and prepares that way, and it shows up on the field on game day.
And talking about being consistent, you guys as a team are now 3-0 in overtime games. You've won a lot of close games this year. What has allowed you guys to be able to find a way week in and week out in these close games to come out with a victory?
Well, I think it's hats off to the players. Have to play. I think the coaches, assistant coaches, done a great job of getting those guys to understand that it's not over till it's over, and you got to play every play, and that's what we do. We're gonna play until the last second goes off the clock, and those guys have done a great job of being resilient and it's worked out for us.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Jim Klein Peter.
Yes, Coach. Would you talk a little bit about defending this pass catch combination of Hagens to Giovanni Gibson
Yeah, they're doing a great. Coach Hamp's doing a great job of turning the culture, changing the culture, and turning that program around. And he has a great trigger man at the quarterback spot. And then Gibson is the best receiver in the conference, probably one of the best in the country, no doubt. And then he also has a few other weapons as well. So it's it's going to be a challenge, and we know it's going to be a challenge. They're not going to change who they are and what they do, and they're going to come in. Coach Hamp's going, he said he wants to try to run the football some, and we know that they will. And, but they're going to go with their bread and butter. And those guys are going to come in here and they're going to throw that football around. And we got to make sure that we're in the right position and get a lot of hats around that football and tackle well in order to neutralize or, control what they're doing offensively. You don't stop great receivers and quarterbacks. You try to contain them, and that's what we have to do.
Thank you, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Next question goes to Perry Daniels.
Yeah, Coach. I also want to talk about Bethune-Cookman and what they were able to do to limit your offensive productivity now that you've had an opportunity to review the film. What did they do?
Go ahead.
What did they do?
Well, they played their style of defense. I mean, I think the first play of the game, we break one all the way down to the 2-yard line and we get a penalty. And that held it, we get a penalty way back up the field. And I looked at the film and the holding call that they called on Darren Morris, I disagree with strongly. And but the call is the call. I think that stopped us from really getting our offense going. We got to execute. We get an opportunity to execute. It wasn't anything that they were doing special. Bethune-Cookman played hard. They played lights out. They did what they do. Just think that we didn't do enough early on execution-wise to put points on the board to distance ourselves. We scored more points in the overtime than we did in regulation. And so that means that we got to really make sure that we hone in and pay attention to the things that we need to execute offensively.
And a victory Saturday will secure a SWAC West division title for the Jags. Is that going to be part of the conversation to the team prior to Saturday's game?
No. The thing is, we need to win. That's what we talk about. We need to win. We want to win the football game because that's the next opponent, and we want to win. What comes with that? That's just part of it, but that can't be the focus. That can't be the focus. That can't be the alarm sounding for this week. We gotta play our best game. We gotta execute at a high level in all three phases of the game, and we need to win the football game. And what comes with that is great, but we must focus on being our best selves and giving ourselves a great chance of winning the ball game.
Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome.
Final questions for Coach. Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
All right. Thank you.
Sir, thank you. All right, next we go over to Texas Southern and Coach Dishman. Once again, if you do have questions for Coach, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, so happy to be joined by Coach Dishman with Texas Southern. Good morning, Coach. You're on mute, Coach.
Good morning, everybody. How you doing this evening?
Doing great, Coach, and thanks for taking some time out to join us. If you could, Coach, start us out with an opening statement, recapping your team's most recent outing versus Alcorn State.
Well, we played well in the first half, but we got to put 2 halves together, 4 quarters together in order to come out to a secure victory. We played very well in the first half, and And then one or two things happen, then all our guys just, duck their heads and think, oh, here we go again. So we got to get some fighters to realize that we can't just duck our heads and say, here we go again. We got to fight and make it happen. The first half, I was very excited. We thought we were going to have a great chance of winning, but our third quarter, we fell apart.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Mr. Daniels.
Coach, Umar Yarrow, 20 tackles, one forced fumble, 1.5 tackles for a loss. Talk about his play.
Well, he showed up very well. We know he's a very good player for us. He's playing a role that, we didn't expect him to play this year, but he's now stepped up and made that play, and that's the problem. We have some injuries over here, and he is one of the bright spots of the guys in front of him were supposed to be starters. They went down. He's taking this opportunity to make his name be known.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Currently taking questions for Coach Dishman with Texas Southern. Questions for Coach? All right, Coach, look like you're short one for you. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. All right, we have several minutes before we are being scheduled to be joined by Coach Taylor, so we'll pause momentarily. Thank you for your patience. All right, we are actually going to go ahead and start a little bit ahead of schedule here for Coach Taylor. We got some available time that just freed up with our previous coach, so we'll go ahead and get started. Coach Taylor, good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning. How's everybody doing?
Doing good, Coach. Appreciate you, and thank you so much for taking some time out of your schedule to join us, Coach. If you could start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's most recent outing versus Mississippi Valley State.
Yeah, hats off to Coach Wade, great friend of mine, great football coach. Just hearing the news that they had to deal with the night before having to travel here to Jackson. That's tough on anybody, any football team. And my hat's off to him. Condolences to the school, the university, that young man's parents, and everything that occurred in that situation. They came out and played though. Going through everything that they was dealing with, they came out and played their butts off. Played a physical brand of football in the first half, and they was right there in that football game. We made a few adjustments at the half. Irv Mulligan had a excellent game this past weekend running the football for us. Jacoby and Morgan played pretty well. Our defensive line got after it in the second half. So, like I said, hats off to Coach Wade and his football team.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach Taylor, good morning to you.
Good morning, Doc. How you doing?
I'm doing good, doing good. The team offensively has gone from more passing the ball to more of a power running game in the last couple of weeks. And in fact, and if I'm not mistaken, you have averaged probably over close to 275 yards in the last 4 games as far as rushing the ball. What is the things as far as when it comes to getting that ground game going that you see, have you seen from each week?
Yeah, it starts with Coach Manny and those guys on the offensive line. We got a big group up there that are playing a physical brand. They're doing a great job of controlling the line of scrimmage. So anytime they can control the line of scrimmage, we can kind of keep the ball on the ground and keep the their offense off the field. But they have been putting up some huge numbers these last couple of weeks. Then we have some key injuries at the receivers positions. Our depth is not quite where we want it to be there, but we've got some guys out there. We dial up some shots. Has been doing a great job. Isaiah Spencer, Jonas Fortillion, Janaylin Dupree has been playing good football, but we just go out there and do what teams allow us to do, and try to take advantage of that. But I tip my hat to our offensive line and these running backs, the way they're, controlling the run game.
And the second question is, as when it comes to the defense, Day Bright was a bright spot for us, no pun intended. What are some things that you told him throughout, since the FAMU game leading up to the game against Valley and so forth, so on?
Yeah, I just told them I still believe in all of them. They were one of the top units in the country last year. They did struggle in that FAMU game, but I told them I still believe in them, and it's going to happen. You're going to have to continue to play. I'm not going to turn my back on you as a coach, and I know we brought you in here for a reason. That interception he made was a heck of a play. For him to make that play, he had a big tackle in this game as well. But just me continue to believe in these guys, and keeping their confidence levels high.
I appreciate you, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Stephen.
Yes, good morning, Coach. I hope all is well in
Morning.
Tigerland. Wanted to touch on a player from our viewing area in Greenville, Eric Simmons. We call him the Baby Mayor. He got his first touchdown this past weekend of his career at Jackson State. How excited were you to see him get in the end zone, and also a little about his development as a player since he's been on campus? Because I know his opportunities, they don't come often, but when he does have the opportunity, whether special teams or, of course, this past weekend to play receiver, he makes the best of it. But kind of elaborate on what his maturation process has been like since he's arrived on campus.
They're just so very proud of Eric. I went to school with his dad and his uncle. They're twins, very well-respected men. And I recruited Eric. I went and did a home visit with him. He was a very electric player up there in Greenville. And he's just been waiting his time. He works hard in practice. He had a great all season, for us changing his body. You see him out there when nobody else is out there, working out, running on the field, in the weight room and things like that. So, that moment was kind of building up. It was, time for him to go out there and make a play. We missed him early on a similar play against Bethune-Cookman down there on the road this year. And the things he's been doing on special teams is, been lights out. He's just a big time electric guy. He's a true blue, true JSU guy. His family are all JSU people. He loves it here. And it was just, a great moment for him in his career.
What did you think about the celebration afterwards? Did you get a chance to see that?
Somebody sent it to me. I didn't actually see it on the field, but I thought it was very clever by him. And that's just Eric, though. He's an energy guy. The players were excited. Everybody on the sideline was really pumped up after that play.
All right. Thank you, Coach, and wish you well this weekend.
Thank you.
Question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Perry. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good.
Coach, Alabama State's coming to town, and Coach Eddie Robinson traditionally has a very, very good defense. Your offense is very explosive. How are you going to, what do you expect from this Alabama State defense? How do you attack a defense that has been so consistent over the years?
Yeah, they're a well-coached football team. You talk about the Alabama State team. This was a team picked to win the East Division and also the SWAC championship. But Coach Eddie Robinson has done a great job building that program up. And that defense is a stingy defense. They physical. They got a lot of length over there. So we got to be play mistake-free football against a team like that. Us having to go on the road and play down in Montgomery. I know it's going to be a great game day atmosphere, but they're stingy on the run. They're very stingy with the run game, and do some really good stuff. Got some really good players over there. We run the ball well, so that should be, make for a great football game. But, hats off to Coach Eddie Robinson. He does a great job with that team. That defense is very electric, but we look forward to the challenge this weekend.
And Cameron McCoy at the quarterback position, coach. He hasn't been there. You started off the season kind of rotating the quarterbacks, but now you've seemed to settle on just one. Um, will we see Cameron back at the quarterback position?
We're gonna go with Jacoby and Morgan as our starter. You know, that's how we've been, you know, these last few weeks. We hadn't really finished our game planning for Alabama State this week. We'll complete that on today. So I can't make any promises on that right now.
Gotcha. Good luck, coach.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it, Perry.
Currently taking questions for Coach Taylor with Jackson State. Final questions? Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate what you do.
Thank you. This concludes our